Show me what you have to show. Won't you come and say if you know the way to blue?
Good morning.
Have you seen
Today we are moored up on Ferry Meadows Lake, which is a very strange thing on a boat. You're not normally on such a large expanse of water. And we're just moving around the corner because this is only a 24-hour mooring. We're just outside Peterborough and we're waiting for the call to let us know what day we can go across the wash. So today is Sunday and we have a window from Tuesday to Saturday, I think. So it depends on the wind and all of that. So I'll show you a little film of the lake as we go out. And we're in the middle of a country park as well, Nene Country Park. It's fantastic. And we're sort of praying that we will be able to go out on the wash because one of the locks behind us we think has just closed for the time being. So we're sort of stuck now. So we absolutely have to get across the wash if we want to get back onto the main network at some point. However, before we go anywhere, Henry has to do an engine service, and wouldn't you believe it, it's absolutely pouring. We've set him up as best we can. We're just going to do an oil change now, but it's sort of important before we go across the wash that everything's done that can be to ensure there's no problems. Don't want to get stuck out at sea. So here we go. Out on the lake. I feel like doing donuts or figures of 8, there's so much room. Of course, we're not quite sure where the entrance is now. It all looks the same. We've got to sort of drive around and find it. We're going to swing around and go back down. It's hidden down there between those trees. Back onto the river. We're supposed to be mooring down a little side cut from the main river, so we've come down one and we're not at all sure that this is where we're supposed to be. There's a rowing club there on the lake. It probably is. I don't want to get stuck, but it's deep enough. Hopefully it's just around the corner at the end. Ooh, this doesn't look like mooring. We might have to turn around and go back out again. Ooh, how weird. We're very confused about this because there's a no mooring notice over there, but it might just mean at the end to keep the slipway free, because this is quite clearly marked on our map as mooring. Only probably enough room for one boat, so David's going to see if he can get in. And then we'll breast up with him. Well, we can stay here until someone tells us to go anyway. Nope, this isn't going to work out. It's too shallow. So we're going to have to go on to the next place. That was all a bit puzzling. David is really struggling to get off. He's had to sort of do a backwards spin around manoeuvre. Not helped by the rain. It's absolutely bucketing down. But he's getting there, doing a sort of 360 spin. The front of the boat can cope with shallower water than the back, so you have to keep the back of the back of the boat out in deeper water if you can. But it looks like he's made it now. It is some days later, Wednesday actually, and we are finally leaving Peterborough. We've got to go to the Dog and Doublet lock, where we're going to be locked through tomorrow, and then we have to stay on the other side of it and go down to Wisbech the day after. So with any luck, our crossing day is going to be Saturday. So it's been nice being in Peterborough for a couple of days, but it's nice to be moving on into the Fenlands. Before we've even left Peterborough, the landscape is changing. Huge sky down there and flat lands. It's rather nice, this embankment along here. We've been here for 3 or 4 days and had no problems at all. Lots of willows. Noisy old freight train. Oh look! What's that down there? Oh, don't think that's the way we go. Let me just check age. Oh, slight moment of panic, but actually that way down there is to the middle levels and then over to the U's. I was wondering how you got over there. There are a lot of sunken cruisers around here. That's number 4. They just sort of leave them where they lie. From now on till we get to the sea, it's basically one long straight line. It's the end of the Nene, and it's, I guess, canalised, but it's just very straight. And this will be the landscape. And over to the left, in a little while, it's called Adventurers Lands, according to my Ordnance Survey. We have Jenny and David following behind, and behind them is another boat who is joining us. We just heard this morning. So there'll be 3 of us crossing the Wash on Saturday. Little Fenland community down here. And these are all the wild horses that seem to roam around the riverside. So cute. We're on the floating pontoons. And that is a very serious looking sea lock down there. I guess that's what stops it all from getting flooded around here. Just got through the sea lock, but it was a bit hairy. It's really windy today, and the floating pontoon is only big enough for one boat, so we had to rest up next to David, but got blown right out there. So a hairy few moments getting ourselves in, and now Mike on this boat has got to come and rest up next to us, so we'll be 3 abreast. And so with the day to spare, we thought we'd cycle to March and have a look at the old River Nene, cycling along this long, straight Fenland road. Well, we've arrived almost in March, and this is the old River Nene, and that's Fox narrowboat hire down there. And we're just following the cycle path up into the town. Friday morning, and we're just getting ready to go down from the Dog and Doublet to Wisbech. We're going down on the top of the tide because it gets very shallow, and yesterday we could see a large object right in the middle of the river, so we've got to go around that. And then when we get down to Wisbech, we have to spin around and come back into the jetty that we've been given. We're all a little bit anxious. It's, you know, before you do something like this, it's like a bit like There Be Dragons. You're not quite sure what's going on, so we're agitating to get going this morning because we just want to be on the move. It dampens the anxiety down a bit. So I've got a GoPro on the front of the boat, and I shall film what I can. David is going to go first, we're going to follow him, and Mike's going to come after. debris in the water. Great big lumps of wood floating up. You know you've got one right in front of you, Henry. You need to go round to the right a bit. It's massive. Straight ahead now. Oh, it's a tyre.
Dead sheep.
Oh, is it a dead sheep? Oh, yuck, gross.
Quite a few of those.
Oh, really? Oh no, silly things. Another huge lump of something. Sofa. Yep. Or car seat. The thing is, in a cut like this, which is tidal, a bit like the River Trent, you get rubbish or dead sheep. They float up and they float down and they never disappear. They just go up and down and up and down. So, pretty gross. First sign of life. We've swum for an hour or so. We've got about an hour to go, I think, before Wisbech. This is an emergency pontoon, I think. Oh no, 48 hours. Oh. Well, we're coming into Wisbech, and certainly on the riverfront, it looks nicer than I expected. Don't know what I expected, really. Oh, lovely. Yeah, I don't know. I think this is where we'll be mooring. We've been given K1 and K2. No, we want K1 and K2, apparently. When we get there, we have to spin the boat around so that it's facing into the flow of the river as it comes down. Not many narrowboats down here. Not any but narrowboats down here. Only us. Winding around now. David's done it. We've got the flow coming down, so you always get a point where the boat gets caught and you go downwards, but which we're just at that point at the moment. And she's caught it and going round. That's good. And here comes Mike to do the same. He's got bow thrusters, so it's that little bit easier.
Buoyancy bag, that's all.
Oh yeah. This boat has been sunken and they're waiting for the river to go down to lift it. It might have been where the smell of diesel was coming from earlier. I'm not sure how long it's been down there. Just to give you an idea of what can happen, these are the floodgates up here. And that's the river down there. Imagine. later on, just as we were going to bed, the boat came by with the pump, still pumping water out of the wreck. So I guess they couldn't plug all the holes up. It's quite a cavalcade going down the river. It's like the Keystone Cops.
Don't you have a word to show what may be done? Have you never heard a way to find the sun? Tell me all that you may know. Show me what you have to show. Won't you come and say if you know the way?